4 year-end blessing ceremonies were held at the newly built Jing Si Hall. In Nantou, Tzu Chi volunteers helped a family of 7 clean up their home before the upcoming New Year. Selamat datang ke headline saya Mengtougou. Terima kasih menyertai sesi berita kita. In Taoyuan's Jing Si Hall, 4 year-end blessing ceremonies were held. Jing Si abode Dharma masters have given out with envelopes of wisdom and blessings, while volunteers promoted vegetarianism. Here's more.
At Taoyuan's Jing Si Hall, 4 sessions of year-end blessing ceremonies were held in 2 days. A counselor brings 20 seniors from Bata Veterans Home to the event.
Maybe because I didn't really get in touch or understand Tzu Chi before, so I didn't know what you did. Today, after watching the video and learn how Master Zheng Yan led Tzu Chi to make contributions in Taiwan and around the world, I feel very impressed.
We're close to this place. I'll come here more often to join in the activities. And I also hope that I can become part of Tzu Chi in the future.
While sharing blessings from Tzu Chi volunteers around the globe, participants also witnessed the changes of care recipients. Middle schooler Xiao Yan was bullied at school and has a family that is unable to support her. Her story is displayed on stage as she shares her change.
This little girl is actually unwilling to shoulder the family's burden. Yet, Tzu Chi's brothers and sisters cared for her and helped her out, making her feel a different kind of love.
At the Year-end Blessing Ceremony, bamboo coin bank donations were also collected. Volunteers greeted participants with love and sincerity, creating a happy New Year mood at the venue.
I think I was here early enough, but once I arrived, many volunteers were already here. Everywhere is already set in place. This really moved me.
During such a grateful moment, volunteers, along with community members, have furthered their bond as they gather to pray for a peaceful year.
In the Philippines, although the pandemic is still ongoing, but that does not stop Tzu Chings from sending love during Christmas. 27 Tzu Chings prepared gifts and headed over to the Ormoc Great Love Village to send Christmas gifts to 150 children.
We, the Tzu Chings of Ormoc, are ready to give happiness by giving gifts for the children on Christmas Day.
The Tzu Chings in Ormoc have an average age of less than 20. Before changing into their costumes, they're busy wrapping gifts. They do not use sleigh as their transportation, but they either walk or use a tricycle, heading to the Ormoc Great Love Village. When their tricycle is stuck in mud, these young Santas have to push it themselves.
Merry Christmas!
This little boy was very excited and danced happily. His joyfulness has spread to the surrounding adults.
I'm really grateful towards the Tzu Chings. They have done their best to prepare gifts for my children. They have brought much joy for all of us. Thank you so much.
We have 27 youth who joined the activity.
We have 27 youth who participated in the activity, and we have over 150 children in the Great Love Village who received the gifts. These gifts are from our Tzu Chi aunties and uncles. To be able to see the priceless smiles on the children's faces, everything is worth it.
Although the pandemic is still ongoing, but with a loving and caring heart, Christmas blessings will never disappear. In the US, Tzu Chi New York chapter continues to distribute food supplies and warm clothing despite the cold weather. There's also a young lady who collected coats during her birthday so that she can donate and help others who are in need.
It takes 2 days for me to complete knitting this. Besides eating and during exercise, I spend the rest of my time knitting these blankets.
100 blankets and 500 scarves and caps. These are the knitting works of 80-year-old Mei Tai in 1 year. The scarves and caps are the items to be given out at Tzu Chi's annual winter distribution.
Every year she would come and tell me that the festive season is coming soon. Do I want to come and take the items she knitted? I would say yes, and sometimes our Tzu Chi sister's clothing factory has extra yarn. I will also bring it over to Aunt May.
Aunt May once suffered a mild stroke. She knits every day, treating it as if it's a physiotherapy. She has been doing it for the past 25 years. Although this year was impacted by the pandemic, she still continues to knit.
With the blessings from the Bodhisattvas, my eyes are still good and I treat this as physio for my hands. It also helps my brain to stay alert.
A young woman, Yasha Pandohie, saw a post online that Tzu Chi is collecting winter clothing for distribution. On her birthday, she posted online, inviting family and friends to donate their winter clothing as a form of celebration.
Because I know COVID has brought a lot of financial instability, and so I really wanted to help in whatever way I could, and I know winter was coming, so I thought getting coats would be a good way to do that.
Yeah, these are the coats my daughter requested, asked her to help her. As a birthday wish, she wanted to get this, to do this for the community.
This winter, the pandemic has worsened once again. The weather has been extremely cold too. Tzu Chi New York chapter's winter distribution was held after 2 days of heavy snow. All the love from the community was put into good use. Although the roads were covered with snow, that does not stop the local residents from coming and collecting their food supplies. In fact, there was a 20% increase of people who turn up to collect the supplies. Tzu Chi volunteers prepared warm clothing and new blankets for everyone. Grandma Huang is a new immigrant from Fuzhou, China. Under the pandemic, she didn't want to increase the burden of her children, so she relies on the food supplies provided by Tzu Chi and the government subsidy for a living. As heavy snow fell and temperatures dropped, her old blanket was unable to keep her warm.
I want to buy, but I am reluctant to spend so much. It is very costly. If I want to buy a new one, it costs about $20 to $30. Many of my items are collected from other places. Thank you so much. I finally have a blanket. I'll use it tonight. Is that okay?
Every year, volunteers will also head to the local old folks' home to provide care and supplies during the winter. Due to the pandemic, visitors are not allowed to visit the old folks' home. Therefore, volunteers were unable to accompany the elders during the festive season. However, volunteers still delivered love from the community members to their doorsteps. As New York is facing the heaviest snowfall in 5 years, volunteers have sent warmth just in time, spreading the seeds of kindness in the community, bringing blessings to the New Yorkers during this chilly cold winter. In Liancheng, China, volunteers have brought various supplies for the care recipients, hoping to warm their hearts during this cold winter.
就像上人说的，有苦的人走不出来，那我们有福的人当然要走进去，这才叫含恩送暖，要把上人的祝福送到困难的、需要的家里面去。
Mr. Xiang, who is bedridden, underwent a brain surgery a year ago. Unfortunately, after the surgery, she was unable to speak and fully relies on her family to take care of her daily life.
Shake hands, let's shake hands. You must be grateful towards your husband. You must thank him. You're lucky to still have him, also your son. Your son also takes good care of you.
This family's financial face difficulties due to illness. Tzu Chi volunteers have sent a variety of daily supplies, including foods and clothes. There's also the Master's consolation letter, which is a big boost in morale for this family. These blessings are like the warm sun, warming the hearts of every family who needs caring.
These supplies are love for volunteers all over the world, like this rice, tea leaves, cooking oil, noodles, and clothes.
Three generations of the family are living together, and the grandma should be able to enjoy her later life. However, her daughter passed away this year, and the grandma had to shoulder the responsibility of taking care of her grandchildren.
Grandma is a precious gem. In every family, there must be a senior, a precious gem to stabilize the family. Am I correct? Your son needs to rely on you, and so does your grandchildren, right? You still need to support this family, right?
Fortunately, teachers from the Tzu Chi kindergarten pays weekly visits to this family, helping cultivate good habits in the hearts of the children. Now, they're able to have matching shoes and socks.
我们之前就有沟通。
We have discussed this before. What we need to do is that we need to find ways to teach these 3 children to be independent, teach them life skills so that this family can live a better life.
要让这个家庭更有家的味道。
Volunteers have worked together to help this family feel blessed and prosperous once again. Despite the freezing weather in Beijing, Tzu Chi volunteers still left home early and head to Mengtougou to deliver supplies and care for 182 families.
Using the big pot that can cook hot food for more than 100 people, people are getting ready for a big event.
The old man has started a fire. He has been heating up the pot non-stop.
It only happens when there are celebrations in the village with a lot of people.
Despite the cold weather, people feel warm in their hearts. Residents not only look forward to the supplies, but also love and care.
A grandma has come to the distribution site, wearing the clothes given to her by Tzu Chi years ago. This is the grandma. Stand up so we can look at you. She is wearing our clothes with the Tzu Chi logo.
In 2012, Tzu Chi volunteers came to Mengtougou to hold an aid distribution after a flood. Now that a cold winter has arrived, Tzu Chi volunteers have delivered care again. Mr. Li cannot hold back his tears.
There are people who care about us seniors. I'm deeply touched by this. Now that my wife has passed away, I'm lonely at home.
After his wife passed away, he has been lonely at home. Volunteers have paid him a visit, bringing joy and laughter.
Tzu Chi does a good job and a solid job, with standard procedures. They interact with seniors and provide seniors with materials and spiritual care.
As the residents share the hot noodles, they have felt the love and care of the volunteers.
In Nantou, Tzu Chi care recipient Miss Hu is slightly mentally challenged. She has 7 children and 4 of them are mentally challenged. Their house was a mess and volunteers head over to help clean up their house before the new year. Take a look.
Around 50 volunteers gathered and formed a line, working together to assist in cleaning an old house.
It's difficult for people to get in and out, so using a relay is a fast and efficient way to do this.
There are so many objects accumulated in the house, it is hard for a person to even walk through.
Things in the house are piled up so high they reach the ceiling. There's absolutely no space to walk, not even space to sleep.
Other people bring objects to me and I keep them. They ask if I want a few clothes. Sure. If I want to take these few shirts, I say yes. And the things just keep piling up and piling up.
After years of disarray, there is a thick layer of dust and a bad smell accumulated in the house. Tzu Chi care recipient Mrs. Hu has a slight mental disability, and 3 of her 5 children also have slight to moderate mental disability.
The items we don't want to keep, we'll carry them outside for you.
We hope to make good use of this opportunity to improve the living environment and to help them have better health in mind and body.
The volunteers have come fully prepared with sufficient supplies and good hearts.
We sanitize the whole place, and after sanitizing, we also change the light bulbs. That's part of the job.
The debris that was cleared out took several truckloads to transport. After tremendous effort from the volunteers, the house was finally completely cleaned just in time for the new year.
In Guishan, there is a family where both parents have disability cards. They are unable to take care of their 2 children, and their house was a mess. Volunteers assisted with the cleanup works and even arranged social workers so that the children will receive proper care.
The whole living room is full of things. Not only the door cannot be opened, but the aisle is also blocked. And there are many cockroaches inside the house. Living in this environment, Children are the most pitiful.
It's really hard for the children. How come we didn't find them before? If we did, they wouldn't have to endure it for so long. I feel sympathy for them.
The parents are both physically and mentally disabled. Their laborers actually have known for a long time that the children need care.
I asked him why he still didn't go home. He replied that his home was dark. I asked again if his parents were at home, and he said no.
It was so cold yesterday. I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before. When I saw the little girl, she was running around naked without wearing a single piece of clothing.
It's a boys' school who reported the case to Tzu Chi, and the social assistance system is also immediately activated.
After we came for home visit, in fact, I hope that the children can have a place to stay and that there is a unit to take care of them. Maybe the social bureau can do nothing for this case. So I immediately reported to Tzu Chi.
Tzu Chi first enters their house to clean so that there's space for other units to come and help.
More than 40 volunteers were mobilized to clear 400 bags of things from the living room to the bedroom.
We have found many useful things like dining utensils, socks, and clothing. All these can keep them warm and are useful.
Thank you very much, all the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters, for coming to clean. To be honest, when I first looked at this scene, I realized the condition was really terrible.
Volunteers threw away the extra things and brought in beds and desks they need. Follow-up care will follow to make this home filled with love and warmth.
In Yunlin, 77-year-old Mr. Huang has lived alone for more than 10 years. His house is old and damp, full of debris, and has poor air circulation. Due to polio, he's unable to clean his house, as volunteers provided assistance and brought him a new bed.
This small kitchen is full of clutter, which is almost as tall as a person. Volunteers first move out of the unnecessary items. The bedroom was dark and damp, and a wooden bed for decades has collapsed and has to be completely removed.
It's very inconvenient to get in and out of bed. We took apart the old bed and removed it and brought a second-hand bed, which is a little newer.
77-year-old Mr. Huang has lived alone for more than 10 years and suffers from polio. It is relatively inconvenient for him to move about.
The room is dark and the air circulation is not good. A lot of things are piled up. We help him clear this out as we want to give him a better living environment.
Thank you so much for taking care of me so often.
We do what we can with a very happy heart. When doing the right thing, we are not afraid of hard work.
After tidying up, it was discovered that the house was full of space, and the volunteers also planned a helping store nearby bathroom, reducing his need to walk a great distance.
In Pingxi District, New Taipei City, team members head over to visit the elderly once every 2 months. As it is raining frequently, volunteers urge them to wear more clothes to stay warm and even send blessings for the new year in advance.
The rain in northern Taiwan keeps on falling. The temperature in Pingxi, which is near the mountain, is lower than that in the urban area. 87-year-old Grandpa Chen ran a tea factory when he was young and often walked around, but now his legs are degraded.
The doctors came to provide house calls to us. They really care for us, the elderly. That's why they often come here.
Tim and doctor carefully inquired Grandpa about his health condition, while he also truthfully told the doctor about his recent physical status. "80-year-old Grandpa Lai Hao lives alone and looks very much forward to meeting others. Volunteers sent him a couplet and blessings. As Grandma Fu Rong, who is in a wheelchair, suffers from serious hard of hearing, volunteers advise her near her years. Grandma's frankness makes everyone laugh. Yet in the conversation, her desire to be accompanied by someone was also clearly revealed.
You come to see me and chat with me. I'm very happy.
Maybe they're living in the mountain. It is not convenient for them to have dental treatment, or they seem to lack hearing aids to improve their living conditions.
Although Tima team and volunteers just pay a soft visit in every elder's home, the warmth they deliver to the elderly will last in elders' hearts forever.
As the pandemic impacts the economy, it has also changed people's lifestyle. In Indonesia, people have developed an app for vendors. They hope to help people who have lost their jobs because of the pandemic. Take a look.
Produk yang saya kasih sudah ada angkanya di sini, boleh dicek lagi mbaknya.
Nah, akhirnya membuat kami harus berpikir lebih kreatif.
We want to think creatively so the business can survive. I believe that we can find good opportunities despite the pandemic. One of the conditions is that many people have been laid off and lost their incomes. All in all, we created this business to help people who need incomes but do not have funds.
Ini bertujuan untuk membantu orang-orang yang butuh penghasilan tapi mereka tidak punya modal, kita bantu semuanya. Bahwa yang paling dia kenapa pertanyaan pertama saya kenapa kamu bisa daftar mantap?
When we asked them why did they join us, most of them said that mantap applications does not require funds. This is a way for us to help them. Our members include office workers, retired people, and people affected by the pandemic.
Ada juga yang sudah pensiunan, lalu ada juga yang terdampak penjaga toko.
Kenceng nih deh.
Alhamdulillah semalam.
Banyak kemarin lagi nih.
Ya, alhamdulillah sih semalam ada kemajuan dari yang kemarin. Gimana nih? Kapan nih jalannya?
Ini mau jalan.
Ini mau jalan.
Kami memang harus membantu teman-teman ini untuk.
We should help people whose incomes have been affected. In the US, before the Christmas holidays, Tzu Chi Washington chapter held food distributions for students from impoverished families. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.